Camping is supposed to feel peaceful. Fresh air, quiet forests, a break from the world. But there's something deeply unsettling about being trapped in the middle of nowhere after dark. No neighbors, no lights, no help, just trees, and whatever might be hiding between them. The people in these stories all went camping expecting a normal night. None of them slept. These are 3 true camping horror stories. Back in 2022, me and my cousin decided to go camping in northern Montana. The campground wasn't popular. That's actually why we picked it. No crowds, no noise, just forest for miles. We arrived late in the afternoon and set up our tent near a small lake surrounded by pine trees. At first, everything felt normal. We cooked food over a fire, listened to music, and watched the sunset disappear behind the mountains. But around midnight, things started feeling strange. The forest became unnaturally quiet. No insects, no birds, nothing. I remember looking over at my cousin and saying, "Why does it suddenly feel so dead out here?" He laughed it off. Around 2 a.m. I woke up to a sound outside the tent, whistling, soft, slow, almost playful. At first I thought it was just wind moving through the trees, but then it happened again, the exact same whistle, 3 short notes, right outside the tent. I sat up immediately. My cousin was already awake. I could barely see his face in the darkness, but I could tell he heard it too. Then we heard footsteps. Crunch, crunch, slowly circling the tent. Not animal footsteps, human footsteps. I grabbed my flashlight and whispered, "Should I look outside?" He instantly said no. The footsteps stopped directly behind us. Complete silence filled the tent, and then the whistling came again, this time much closer, almost right against the fabric. I felt my stomach drop. My cousin quietly grabbed the car keys. We both stayed completely still for almost 5 minutes before hearing the footsteps slowly move away into the trees. That should have been the end of it. But then we heard something that still bothers me to this day. A voice, very far away in the forest, calling my cousin's name. The problem was, it sounded exactly like me. My cousin looked terrified because I hadn't spoken. The voice called his name again, closer this time. That's when we snapped. We threw open the tent, grabbed whatever we could carry, and sprinted toward the car. I remember shining my flashlight toward the trees while unlocking the doors. For a split second, I saw someone standing between the trees, tall, completely still, watching us. We drove out of there so fast we left half our gear behind. The next morning, we came back with 2 other friends to collect everything. And near the back of the tent, we found footprints, bare human footprints, deep in the mud, circling the tent. A few years ago, 4 of us went camping deep in the Appalachian Mountains. The campsite was hours away from the nearest town. No phone signal, no cabins, nothing, just endless forest. The first night actually felt fun. We sat around the fire telling stupid stories and recording videos for social media. Around 1 a.m., one of my friends suddenly stopped talking mid-sentence. He was staring into the trees behind me. I turned around expecting a deer or something, but I didn't see anything. He laughed nervously and said, "I thought I saw someone standing there." That immediately changed the mood. For the next hour, we kept hearing branches snapping in the distance, not close enough to see anything, but close enough to know something was moving around us. Eventually, we went into our tents. I shared one with my friend Marcus. Sometime around 3 in the morning, Marcus shook me awake. He whispered, "Don't move." I could hear breathing outside the tent, slow breathing, like someone standing inches away. Then footsteps, walking around us very slowly. I reached for my flashlight while Marcus unzipped the tent just enough to peek outside. The second the flashlight turned on, the footsteps stopped. Complete silence. Then Marcus whispered, "Oh my God!" I looked outside beside him, about 30 feet away, Bob. Someone was standing between the trees, tall, wearing dark clothes, completely motionless. The flashlight barely reached their face, but I could see pale skin and eyes reflecting the light. The figure slowly stepped behind a tree and disappeared. Neither of us slept after that. At sunrise, we checked the area where the person had been standing. There were no footprints, no trash, no signs anyone had been there. Nothing. But Marcus found something hanging from a tree branch near our tent. A small camping whistle, the same kind people use for emergencies. Neither of us touched it. We packed our stuff and left immediately. Last summer, me and 2 friends decided to camp near an abandoned campground in Oregon. The place had officially been closed for years after a wildfire damaged most of the area. But people online kept saying the forest there was beautiful. When we arrived, the entire campground was empty, every cabin boarded up, every trail overgrown. The place felt wrong immediately. Before entering, we passed a small ranger station near the road. An older park ranger stepped outside as we drove by. He looked genuinely nervous. He asked where we were going. When we told him we planned to camp overnight, his expression changed completely. He said, "You really shouldn't stay here after dark." We laughed awkwardly, assuming he was trying to scare tourists, but he didn't laugh back. He just repeated, "If you hear voices outside your tent tonight, don't answer them." That sentence stayed in my head all evening. Around midnight, heavy fog rolled into the campground. The entire forest disappeared into white mist. Even our flashlight beams barely worked. At around 2:30 a.m., I woke up to whispering outside. At first, I thought my friends were awake, but both of them were asleep beside me. The whispering continued, soft, unclear, almost impossible to understand. Then I heard my own name coming from outside the tent. I froze. A second later, one of my friends suddenly sat upright. He whispered, "Did you hear that?" Before I could answer, something touched the side of the tent, slowly dragging across the fabric. All 3 of us stayed completely silent. Then came the voice again, this time sounding exactly like my friend Tyler. "Open the tent." But Tyler was sitting right beside me. I remember feeling genuine panic for the first time. The voice outside started walking around the tent, slow footsteps circling us over and over again. Then silence. For almost 10 minutes, nothing happened. We thought it was finally gone, and then a flashlight turned on outside. Bright white light shined directly through the tent walls. Whoever was outside started breathing heavily, almost growling. My friend grabbed bear spray while I slowly reached for the zipper. The second I opened the tent, the light disappeared. The forest was completely empty. No footsteps, no person, nothing. But deep in the tree, we heard whistling, the exact same 3 notes repeating over and over. We packed everything and left before sunrise. And while driving out of the campground, we saw the ranger standing near the road watching us leave. He didn't wave, didn't speak. He just stared at us, almost like he already knew what happened that night. If you enjoyed these stories, subscribe for more disturbing horror videos every week. And remember, If you ever hear someone calling your name in the woods at night, make sure it's actually your friend before answering.